Plyo lunges are a strength, stability, and power move for our legs. There's a lot of balance involved in these, and there's a lot of generating force and exploding up out of the bottom involved, so hence the power portion that we are working on when performing this exercise. I'm going to show you the setup and kind of go through it first, and then I'll show you some variations that you could do instead if you're not quite ready for those full plyo lunges quite yet. So, setup for these is going to be very similar to a split squat. That's going to be the distance that you have when performing this exercise, almost identical to the distance when you get in a normal split squat. You can start on whichever leg forward, the other leg back. If you've watched that split squat demonstration video, to find the distance between your front and your back leg, you kind of want to get in that position, get down at the bottom, look at those legs, and try to get fairly close to a 90-degree bend in that front leg and that back leg. So once you have found that position, we're going to get down nice and low in that split squat, all the way down to the floor. At the bottom, we're going to generate that power, explode on up, come up off the ground, switch legs, and go right back down into that split squat again on this side. Nice and low, explode out of the bottom, switching sides, going back and forth. I would really recommend, before you go into the hopping portion of this movement, to get comfortable with our normal reverse lunges. This is also an alternative to this exercise if you're not ready for the actual hopping motion. So remember, those reverse lunges are where we're stepping back into that lunge, coming forward and switching sides. So this is an easier alternative to those plyo lunges if you need to. They're not quite as cardiovascular demanding, not quite working on stability and power as much. However, they are an option you can do if you're not ready for those plyo lunges. The reason I say start on these is because you want to get comfortable with stepping back and automatically kind of knowing how far back to step, so that when you go into those plyo moves and you're hopping, you're going to land with that same distance almost every time. You'll naturally know how far to put that leg back when you hop, so that you're not hopping and coming down like this, or hopping and coming out really wide and chancing stretching, maybe overstretching a hip flexor or something like that. So focus on those reverse lunges first, finding your distance. Once you get comfortable with that, try to start adding in the hop. And you can start off with a nice and small hop. So coming into that plyo lunge, just barely kind of switching here at the top. I'm not hopping up very high, I'm just kind of adding a little bit of hop as I switch my feet. And as you get more comfortable with this, you're going to focus on generating more of a power, more of a demand on those muscles in that cardiovascular system by getting down nice and low and really exploding out of the bottom and jumping up nice and high. Biggest mistakes made on this one: not getting a good spacing, so not getting comfortable with reverse lunges before progressing into this one. Another big mistake, body weight not being divided between the two legs. You'll notice my posture, I'm fairly upright with my torso throughout this movement. A lot of times I'll see people really kind of lean over that front leg and put a lot more strain on that front leg. Try to divide it. Both your back leg and your front leg are doing the work. Another major mistake on this exercise, as well as any plyo move where we're hopping and landing, is not landing and going right back into that kind of lunge or that squat to where the muscles are absorbing the force. Instead, kind of letting that impact hit the joints. What that looks like is hopping like this, landing hard, getting our position, and then going into our next split squat. We don't want to do that. We want to land softly right back into that next split squat so that the muscles are absorbing that force and slowing us down as we come down. And all that force is not being transferred to our knees and our ankles and things like that.